Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, December the 14th. I am so happy today to introduce our next guest because we go back a long time.
Be careful.
RON WIDBIN.
We go back a long way, but let's see, how's he spell his name again?
Right, exactly.
I don't really care about the pronunciation or the spelling. Yeah.
RON WIDBIN from, how many years were you at 17?
I was there for 28 years.
28 years.
And you know what occurred to me, Paul? You know, you ever look on Facebook, like you know you're old when you recognize what this little object is or whatever? If people watching this would say, you know you've been around a long time if you recognize these two faces. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this goes back decades. So.
It does. But you had a wonderful program on Channel 17. Mm-hmm. Was it when you were there? It was still KCBJ, wasn't it?
When I first joined on board, yeah.
And then it went to KMIZ.
KMIZ, yeah,
right.
Soon thereafter.
And then for years you did WIDBIN's Way,
right?
Which I thought was absolutely wonderful. I always admired what you did, Ron, because I couldn't do what you did the way you did it on tape and editing it down into those little packages. I kind of tend to ramble, and that's what was good for me with the Pepper and Friends show.
We should have brought my wife in here, and she'd talk about rambling. Ron, you're the same thing. We talked about this off the air, folks. Paul and I, we're very much alike, Paul. We have the same message, that good things are going on in a local level. People need to know about it. There are good people out there doing good things for people. People don't hear it anymore. Where are they gonna hear it?
Yeah.
If it bleeds, it leads. I mean,
And that's why I feel so fortunate to have these 8 minutes every day on KBIA because we have the ability that they've given us the ability to come in here and let people in the community talk about what is going on with their organization and with their life. And when we talk about that, everybody knows RON WIDBIN. And they say, well, what's he doing now? So what are you doing now?
Well, for the past, I've got stopped by a couple of ladies, the custodial workers here, like, hey, Ron, when'd you get back? We've been in Guatemala basically full-time for the last 8.5 years. COVID hit, things changed. We've moved back to Colombia now. Spent 3 months here and 1 month in Guatemala. We're still doing a lot of stuff down there, building houses, working with teachers, things like that. So we've kind of become grandparents. That's what I'm doing now.
Now I said, well, you're doing missionary work, and you said, well, let's call it international. What'd you say?
International workers.
International workers.
We built houses when the volcanoes erupted. We fed people when COVID locked the country down. Whatever. Not to get preachy, but whatever God puts in our crosshairs, and people need help, that's what we tended to go for.
Yeah.
So
that became your calling after you left television.
Right.
But the years that you spent working in television also gave you the ability to communicate with people,
yes.
to understand people on a very personal level, because that's what you did.
That's what you do, Paul. I mean, it's really people are connected to other people. They want to hear the stories, and I'm just a storyteller. I'm not a techie or anything like that. But I know a story when I see it. When I tear up, when I see children dying, when I see people starving to death, and it touches me, then I know how to tell that story because it touched me. It's going to touch other people, and people are going to give, and people are going to respond to the need. That's what we've been doing for the last several years.
Yeah.
So.
Do you, when you look back over your time working at Channel 17, are there anything that pop out in your mind as, wow, I wish I could do that particular thing again?
Well, you know what? As soon as we went to, I moved on from Channel 17 and went to Guatemala, I thought that was the end. And I looked back and I had a lot of fun. You and I co-hosted a Pepper and Friends once on Channel 8.
Yeah.
Just for the whim of it, I guess. I don't know. But, and I thought, okay, that part of my life is done. And then it didn't come to an end. Now I started doing videos for other ministries, helping people tell their stories. And I realized, as you said earlier, Paul, it was all a stepping stone. It was all preparing me for something that, the stories that I tell now and share on Vimeo and places save lives. They do. People respond.
And you never know. You never know whose life you're going to touch at any particular time.
Right.
If you have a platform to put that good news out there.
That's right.
You never know who you're going to touch.
Yeah.
I remember one day, and this goes back to the old Pepper and Friends show, we had a blind singer on. Judy Cave was her name.
Yep.
And do you remember her?
Yes, I do.
She did
Yes, I do.
a particularly inspirational song that day. After the show was over, we had a call from a viewer, and she said, Paul, I just wanted to tell you, I was watching your show today, and I was going to end my life this morning, but I heard Judy Cave singing that song, and I listened to the words, and it made me realize that I still have something to go on for. I will never forget that. And if all those years that was the only thing that came out of that show, it was well worth it.
Oh, it was.
But it just goes to show you don't know whose life you're touching at any time.
No. Well, you get put in those positions and a time to make a choice. Do I retire and just spoil the grandkids, or do I, like you said, do I answer a calling to go to the third world and share some of the experiences or tell the stories that need to be told down there? I didn't think I had much of a choice. You step up, you make the right choice, and you help people. That's why we're here, Paul. That's it, to help other people. That's it. That's why we're on this planet. So help other people when you get the opportunity. Simple as that.
You're a good person, you know that?
I'm not going to go with that.
No. I'm sitting here looking at you, and I can see the honesty in your eyes. Ron, I really appreciate chatting with you. And as I said before, I admired what you did while you were doing it on television locally here in Central Missouri. And I admire what you're doing now as you have taken that next step in your life. You don't know how many other lives that you've touched or how many more lives you will touch in the future.
I could say the same for you, brother.
So when do you leave again to go back down to Guatemala?
Sally now go down there pretty much the month of January. She's training Guatemalan teachers in math and reading. I'll go down and tell some more stories, build some more houses, things like that. So and then
you'll come back when?
And then we'll come back at the end of January, and then I'm taking a dental team down to work in some villages in February. So it just whatever the calling is ready for. I'm ready to.
You need to come back again.
Okay.
Please come back again. Before you leave, we'll get another date if we can.
Okay.
If you can fit us in to talk
Absolutely.
about what you did in January and what you have coming up. Because
Absolutely.
I think you've got some wonderful stories to tell.
Well, I hope so.
All right, Ron. Thank you so much
Pleasure,
for coming
brother. Real honor.
It was my pleasure having you here today. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and many, many, many years of continued success.
It's hard to wrap us up, isn't it?
It is.
Always
we got
has been.
10 seconds left here. So I'll say, if there's something you would like to hear or say, drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. And there it is, 0.